thumbs up, I done touchdown. I'm high stepping for the touchdown. I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks love to load it up just to bust rounds. I'm steady having flashbacks. Dirty cash in the clap raps.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the AFC South Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host today, Matthew Briggs, and with me, let's start off with the winners of the division, Mr. Agent Haw. John Haw, say what's up to the folks.
Division has not been won.
Oh, not confident. We'll jump into that here shortly. Coming off the bye and still on mute right now, we got Mr. Haris Nukala.
Dude, we did absolutely nothing and moved into the playoff hunt. Just fantastic work by everybody else.
And saving the bottom of the division for last, we'll go with the third place of the division. I got Mr. Justin for the Texans.
Well, let's get everybody. Guys, same shit show, new day. So there you go.
And last place, but not last in our hearts, we got Mr. Matt Grieve from the Jags.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
All right, guys. Well, before we jump into the main reason why we're here, let's do some NFL news. Sadly, last week, a former Texan, Denver Bronco wide receiver, Demaryius Thomas, passed away of age 33 due to seizures. It was nice to see everybody pay respect, especially the Denver Broncos taking only 10 men on the field, and everybody giving a moment of silence. We'll start with you, Haris. What's your thoughts and everything about it?
Man, it's tough. When you lose, we don't look at just I don't personally just look at the football player, right? I look at the person, and I obviously didn't know Demaryius very well, but everything I've heard about Demaryius from just reporters and other players, and he was very well liked, very well respected, very good guy. So it's tough when you lose people like that, because we just don't have enough of those types of people in our world today. So
right, when you talk about rags to riches, it was kind of the prototype.
Yeah,
of that story. His mom and grandma got life in prison for drug charges, and just given a bad hand, he turned something great, from nothing. But Matt, kick us off. What's your thoughts on it?
Kind of like what everyone else is expressing. It's shocking and it's unfortunate for sure. I think the silver lining that we can see is he definitely had a positive impact on the people that he encountered on and off the field. And another silver lining is to see, a lot of times that we see in America is when there's an unfortunate event, the following day it's a great event. Everyone coming together to honor this individual. So, I'm glad to hear so many good things that he did in his life that I didn't know beforehand, right? So it's unfortunate that this is how we had to find out, though.
Yeah, most definitely. Agent, huh?
Nothing really interesting or sentiment that's new to add. It's just shocking, of course, when you find out about those things, and it's unfortunate that somebody who was so talented and had a big name in the league for for a few years, or for so many years, like was the early 2000s, big part of those Broncos Super Bowl runs. It's unfortunate you see those things.
Yeah, most definitely. And Justin, he's a former Texan, so that kind of hits close to home to a lot of Texans fans, right?
Oh, absolutely. The season, we only have for half the season, dude. Like, when we got him, I'm not gonna lie, I was hell excited. I thought, honestly, the person when Will Fuller went down and we got Demaryius Thomas, that was an upgrade. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, man, it's just the only thing I will add to this is just Peyton Manning added a quote the other day on the news, and he said, as good a receiver that Demaryius was, he wasn't even a better person, and Demaryius Thomas was a Hall of Fame receiver. that just shows how good a person he truly was. And hearing that quote from Peyton Manning, I mean that right there speaks volumes. I mean, you're a better person than you are a better Hall of Fame receiver. I mean, that really says a testament to the man he was. So that's why I just want to add that on.
Well, kind of jumping into other news. In 2024, the NFL announced Las Vegas would be home of the Super Bowl. Anybody shocked by it?
Sweet. Get ready for your $35,000 Super Bowl tickets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. Hey, I mean, they can get the money for it. All they got to do is hit the blackjack tables beforehand.
Hey, that's true.
A big reason why these owners and organizations build these huge stadiums is to get a Super Bowl. So it's usually one of the selling points to getting the city to pay for it. And yeah, you can't be surprised, especially with the way that these stadiums are being built. They're incredible structures. I get a little nerdy about architecture and things like that in particular sports stadiums. And so that one down in Vegas is really something interesting to see. If you've ever been down that way, just right off the highway, it stands out and it's really cool looking.
Yeah, most definitely. Moving on, there's 3 stories that kind of all focus on one thing. I'll start with the kind of the lesser. Ex-NFL receiver Josh Bellamy gets 3 years of prison for fraudulently obtaining over $100.2 million or $1.2 million in COVID-19 relief funds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, everybody's
Who is this?
Josh Bellamy.
It sounds familiar.
I think he played for the Bears, dude.
I think it was the Bengals when I looked it up, but I could be wrong.
Well, so what was he doing? He was filing for COVID relief funds and pocketing the money.
Oh, so he was the one that was doing all the unemployment scams.
COVID fraud. Hey, my guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Josh.
There's a lot of it going on. But, you know,
he did one of those PPP loan things.
Right.
$1.2 million. What a guy.
$1.2 million.
Oh, really? 1.2, huh?
Yeah.
My dude. What a guy.
Well, staying on it.
All the money we got him in the NFL, man. He didn't get any money when he was in the league.
No, I mean, there's a reason why he had to get all that money fraudulently, right? He didn't make it in the league.
Well,
no. Staying on the same subject, it's Monday. We had 37 positive COVID tests.
Yeah, we did have a lot, didn't we?
Yes.
No, wait, are you serious?
Like
Yeah,
all
it's
of
kind of a
Miami,
weird week.
pretty much
Yeah.
all of Miami's running back.
All of Miami, and then wasn't it Chicago? Oh no, that's the Bulls. Just kidding, wrong sport.
Well,
We had two big ones for tonight. For the
Matt's
Monday night
favorite
games
cornerback, Jalen Ramsey. He got
Jalen Ramsey and
Tyler Higbee.
And Tyler Higbee.
Yeah. But
yeah, I heard the news about all the Dolphins running backs like getting COVID. Like
that's
all of them
all
are
from,
over COVID.
that's all from today, though.
Mm-hmm.
All from today. So from beginning of the season to now, there was 72 confirmed, and then 37 today. I mean, that's
wow.
What's going on? If it's the new strain, what the deal is, but
do we know? I mean, obviously, I don't want to get too far into this. Do we know vaccinated versus unvaccinated?
It hasn't said it. All the reports I've seen was just the number of positive tests.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'll probably never find out. I'm just curious.
Right.
How did 37 guys? I mean, were they almost with the same girl or something? Like
They all went
the same.
The same girl. I mean, nah, I mean the same.
Well, Chris Morton makes a good point. He said new strain and tracking for the holidays. All right.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah,
the tracking will get you, man. Not that it's a bad thing, but hey, it's important.
Also, speaking again of COVID, NFL released today that to mandate all Tier 1, Tier 2 employees receive the COVID-19 vaccination booster shot. Anybody surprised by this?
Nope.
I mean,
No, I felt that was probably inevitable.
right. I mean, they're pressing their players and their staff to get it. I mean, I know a lot of fans are upset about it, but at the end of the day, it's a business, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can't put the product on field.
It is the businesses of businesses.
Right. Oh, yeah. A very big business. Well, guys, before we jump into the main issue while we're here, any other NFL news? I know John said something about Lamar Jackson being hurt earlier.
I was just asking, like, what happened. I saw that he got hurt, but I didn't. I knew that they were gonna get an MRI.
Last
or
I read, I
but
thought it was-
hadn't heard.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard.
I
They
thought
probably
it was
won't.
his ankle, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
something
came back negative. They're
Yeah,
saying he's
but-
going to play next Sunday, but
Is he? Okay.
see.
Last I heard, he was out for next Sunday.
Oh,
And he's been trash for me in fantasy. Very disappointing.
Wait, you mean Lamar Jackson hasn't been performing?
Well, last year he wasn't performing as a quarterback either, but still got me
Listen.
tons of fantasy points.
Let me tell you something.
I love Lamar Jackson.
I love Lamar Jackson.
I love
think
him.
he's an exhilarating player
I
to watch.
love watching him play.
But you got to change something eventually because the more film people have, the more different you have to do things. And you
yep.
know, as great as Lamar Jackson started this season, teams have adjusted and he hasn't.
Well, you said the way he started, he wasn't really that hot until he only was really good for like 2 games, and that was
Yeah,
against
it was
the Colts.
about like week 5 is when they started to get really
Right.
good.
know
Against
what?
the comeback against the Colts.
No.
The Chiefs game, he had. a
They were
pretty good
shaky
game.
for a bit there. I mean, they
Yeah.
barely
You know what?
beat the Lions.
You know what? Fuck off. I'm trying to give this guy some credit, and y'all want to sit here and shit on my team because our defense is ass trash. What the hell is wrong with y'all?
Oh, he almost lost to the Lions the very next week after coming
I'm
back.
not saying he isn't due a compliment. I'm just saying that your time was off. You said he started really hot, and I said it wasn't until about like week 5 or so that he got hot.
Well, I mean, the start happened the first 4 weeks.
Right.
Week 5 is no longer a start. That's like a quarter of the season in.
That was my point.
Uh-huh.
Shut up, John. Huh? Listen,
So, speaking of the Colts, let's I mean, not much happened with you guys. So, Hurry's kind of you mentioned earlier with your intro, you said the Colts made the playoffs by doing nothing. Do the Colts take the division by the end of the season?
I honestly don't know. I don't know, man. It's just so. Here's the scenario. There's 4 games left in the season. Colts would have to win out, and then the Titans would have to go 1-3
Or 0-4.
or 0-4.
There's
Now,
a very good chance that we go 1-3.
2,
Very good chance we go 1-3 the last 4 games.
possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think they lose to the Niners, and I do think they lose to the Dolphins.
Pittsburgh next week too.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Hey,
I think I'll go Pittsburgh.
I don't know,
Listen,
man. I'm not sold on
no.
Pittsburgh.
Listen, the Titans all year have had issues with bad teams. The Steelers are a bad team,
Yeah, they are.
Very true. Y'all did lose to the Houston Texans.
and the Jets.
Ooh.
Well, they didn't lose to the Saints. They barely won that one. I forgot.
So
Ooh.
I mean, at the end of the day, no. And let me tell you why. I don't think I'm not worried about the Titans losing enough games more than I am worried about Frank Reich doing potato head shit. So, if we beat New England, we're basically in the playoffs, right? Like the percentage would be, we just have too many tiebreakers over the rest of the teams and that are like above us and below us, within the wild card to not make the playoffs. So beating New England is imperative on Saturday. You beat New England, you're basically in, right? The rest of it just kind of depends. Like I've said many times before, we could go toe to toe with any team in this league. The problem that we have is we just do dumb shit. And
It sucks
That's
though,
what
but
the quarterback too.
you have to play the two best teams in the NFL right now.
that's great. It's weird how that works, right? We're playing
Yeah,
two number
Arizona
one.
Jonathan
and
Taylor is going to go crazy against New England. He is going to run all over them.
I hope so. I mean, even the
It's
Titans.
going to happen.
They have a really
think
good defense
so?
in New England, bro.
You think-
Deontay Foreman
I mean-
and Hillard both got over 100 against New England.
Yeah, true. I was going to
Both
say.
got over 100
So
against New England.
I think the
Do you
Titans.
think Jonathan
will play-
Taylor's going to struggle? I don't think so.
Well, it's not about is he going to struggle or not. Is Frank going to let him play?
New England is going to do the thing where they're going to make Carson Wentz throw, and
Cool, I
that's
hope
where
they
you're
do.
going to be in trouble.
Well, that's the thing. Like
I'm not worried. About,
Hillard and Foreman didn't have no game tape on them at all.
Yes.
There's a lot of game tape on Jonathan Taylor, and like you said,
And there's a lot of game tape of Jonathan Taylor running up and down on people.
exactly. And what's Bill Belichick's specialty? Shutting down the star player.
They're
So
going to take away of what you do best.
I'm not saying he's going to have a bad game.
I don't think I think Bill Belichick is like the poster child for preparation, but I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have a very big day against them.
I hope he does because I got him in fantasy. So
I mean, if he does, we have a really good shot, right? And you know what?
I think you're in the playoffs even if you lose against New England. I think you should be. I think Arizona. I like Arizona, but I don't know if they're as good as they were to begin with.
Yeah,
they started pretty hot, but now they're a little bit shakier.
Yeah, I would be more comfortable beating the Patriots. I'm not worried about the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are that good, and obviously Jacksonville's Jacksonville.
Shouldn't worry about
right?
them.
This weekend, I feel like defines our season, and I think next week, if we beat the Cardinals, it just kind of every win after this week, if we win, right, it's just more, right? If we beat New England, yeah, and kind of like Chris said, if we beat New England, you have the best conference record in the AFC. Like people don't realize our conference record is actually really good. Like we
that's why you're in the playoffs with a bye week.
Yep. So
just because the Bills and the Bengals decided to ruin my afternoon when they both made great comebacks and I was very excited, and then they both end up losing again.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Do I think we can win the division? Yeah. But I'm just taking it 1 week at a time. I'm focused on New England. I don't really care about winning the division anymore because I just don't know the numbers. The numbers are too complicated and I hate math. I just want to get in the dance at this point because I feel like if we can get into the dance, we can beat anybody.
At this point, I don't know if there's any real. I mean, yes, you win the division, you get a home game, but unless you're the 1 seed, who really cares? Like,
if you really think about the AFC, who really is the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, the only thing that matters now is getting that bye, and only one team gets it. So the seeding almost doesn't matter, other than getting a home game. The seeding kind of is meaningless. It feels like. Especially in the AFC. AFC. Everybody's so even.
Right. I think that's what it is. There's not really a true number one. It really depends on who you play, where you play, when you play, how you and matchups at that point, right?
Well, no, I was reading this stat that the road team has a better record this year.
Oh yeah, we're better on the road than we are at home. We're like 4-2.
No, just like overall the league, the road teams have a better record.
Well, I'm saying the Colts are better on the road than they are at home. So
before we move on to other teams, next week got the Patriots. So before I get your prediction, hurries, Matt, what's the prediction for the Colts and Patriots game?
Oh, that's a tough one. Just because the Patriots are so middle of the pack as far as the run defense goes, I think the Colts pulled out.
Okay, John.
Oh, Colts win. Yes, definitely.
Oh, all right.
John just wants the Colts to win. Don't believe anything
I don't.
John Haas
I
says.
don't want the Colts to win. No, the reason there's a couple of things. There's a couple of the reasons. Okay, because the clincher is because I don't want the Colts to win. That's how I know it's going to happen because I never get what I want in sports. So that should be enough. That's reason all the way it is. But I think Jonathan Taylor just destroys them.
Justin?
Who's at home, by the way?
It's in Indy.
I was about to say,
Indy's at home? Okay, then I have to go with Indy. All right. If it was in New England, honestly, I would take New England, but since it's on the road, This is on the road. Yeah. I'm going to take it, D2. Barely over New England, though.
All right, now, Hurries, tell us.
But before I give you my prediction, I have a question.
What's up?
Who is my coach? Do I get Frank Reich or do I get Potato Head Reich?
Both.
It's a tie.
Yeah, he's been shit to get down
It's a
early.
tie.
But then I think y'all like come back.
I don't know. I feel like we'll get a big lead on them to start, and we'll fucking do something stupid. Carson Wentz will throw the ball 68 times, and we lose by 3 points.
God willing. God willing.
I really think that's what's going to happen. Just something in my head, something about this season, something about the leads we've blown, like like we are our own reason that we're not the number one seed in the AFC right now.
Right.
And I don't care what anybody says. We are the only reason why we're not the number one seed. We blew 3 double-digit leads to Tennessee, Baltimore, and Tampa Bay. That would put us at 10 wins right now if we won all 3 of those. That's 10 wins. Nobody else has 10 wins right now.
The only thing about Sunday is you're going up against Bill Belichick. You cannot count out Bill Belichick.
Wrong. We're playing on Saturday.
Oh, you are playing on Saturday, huh?
Yeah, so we get back-to-back Saturday primetime.
Yeah, what is it? They had the best games of the week are Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah.
I think it's just how it ended up. So for Christmas, I think they did that on purpose to match up against the NBA.
Well, they like to do it when the college football season ends. They switch a bunch of games to Saturday so they can scoop up that audience. But
yeah, and then they'll end up flexing games, right? This is flex season, so.
But just like the best matchups, I mean, that Colts Indy game is definitely one of the best. I think this Chargers Chiefs games on Thursday is going to be really good too.
All right,
We'll see
well,
how it works out.
moving on. Let's go to the only winning team of the division rival game going on, Tennessee versus Jacksonville. Let's start with the winner of the game. John, tell us about what happened.
Well, it feels like more news has come out of Jacksonville from this than anything, but
Well, that's why I had you go first. So Matt can,
But this, as somebody who's had a lot to complain about, and I love to complain about the Titans, this was the most boring victory you'll ever have, and that is the best case scenario for us. The defense was fine. The defense was great. We had a shutout. Trevor Lawrence picked him off 4 times. Fantastic. The offense was the most boring and one-dimensional you'll ever see, but it was enough to get the job done. So I won't be super, super negative. We're just really, really hoping that we can somehow, somebody can show up and be a home run hitter for us. But it's too late. It's week 15 now. No one's going to show up. We just have to barely hope to survive.
So,
who do you play this week? Who do they play this week?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
So speaking, before we move on to the Matt, speaking of home run hitters, do you believe Derrick Henry makes it back? I
think that it seems as though they will put him back. I was getting this. I was talking to somebody about this, and they were saying, well, if Henry comes back, that's great. And I said, I don't think it's that big of a deal because I don't know if he'll be a home run hitter because of that type of fracture. He's not going to be getting his 30 carries a game, which unfortunately for me, that's what Derrick Henry needs to be a big home run hitter. He needs all of those carries so that in the second half, he can make those big runs that he loves to get. And if they're only giving him the ball, maybe 12, 15 times, if that, when he comes back, are we going to be that impactful? No, I mean, other than maybe a distraction, maybe our play action will actually be effective. And maybe we'll have A.J. Brown back at that time. I don't know. It remains to be seen. I think they're going to try to bring him back. The report, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Saturday, is that it's looking good that they think probably week 18 is what they are optimistic about. But I don't know. They'll bring him back. They'll rush him back. His foot will fall off, or he'll only get a couple of touches, and it won't amount to anything.
Okay. Well, Matt, it's up to you. It looks like Urban Meyer's losing the locker room. Looks like he's
Lost the locker room, is what it
Yeah.
seems.
Upsetting players, especially Marvin Jones.
Coaching staff.
Charlie Strong has said he's ready to take over the team. What's going down there?
Charlie
Matt,
Strong.
listen, I looked at the resumes. Who's the winners? Who's the losers in that room?
I'm here so I don't get fined. No. So first off, the national media. I mean, you guys know they portray a picture that's worse than it actually is. For some reason, the national media has had it out for Urban Meyer since day one. I don't know what it is, but they've hated Urban Meyer. I stay pretty connected. I'd say connected, right, to the local media, to Jacksonville. Those who are in the front office every day, talking to the coaches, talking to the players, those that have the inside scoops, the real inside scoops. And it's not near as bad as people put it out there. As far as calling coaches out, I think what happened is Urban Meyer came in. He said he admitted, hey, I have no NFL experience. Yes, I have a championship resume. Let me surround people around me that have NFL experience, and I'm going to lean on them. Because if you look at his college coaching experience, what he did is he went in and he held a whip and he just controlled every aspect of everything in his college programs. He took a different approach to the NFL. He put it on his assistants, and they're not performing. And so I think what's happening now is he's calling them out on it. You got to put up or shut up, right? And because it's at the end of the day, it's going to affect his job, right? So I'm hoping what happens is he takes the reins and starts doing what he did in college. He met with the coach. He met with the owner yesterday after the game. Everything's honky dory. Everyone's fine. The owners. He came out and said, he wants to do what's best for the city, for the team, but he doesn't want to make an emotional decision. And so, what does that mean? Urban Meyer's here. What's going to happen moving forward? That remains to be seen. I am assuming we're going to see some changes in the assistants coaches. My dream would be to somehow get the offensive coordinator out of Dallas. But I assume he's going to get a head coaching role here pretty soon.
Kellen Moore?
Moore, yeah. The dude's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
He's making McCarthy look a lot better than McCarthy actually is, in my opinion. But no, the Jaguars aren't. It's not as bad as it looks. Now the field play is just disgusting.
What was that thing he was saying today, where it's like somebody's like on the inside sabotaging with the narrative or something like that?
No, he said if he finds out that there is somebody on the inside, they will be fired. He doesn't know for a fact that there's somebody leaking out this information. But what somebody said is it's kind of like the John Gruden situation. Somebody had it out for John Gruden. I mean, that was a hit job, right? Like someone went really deep to find these emails and expose John Gruden because they wanted them out. And it might be the kind of same situation with Urban Meyer. Someone might just want him out, but
wait a minute. Hold on a second. So you're telling me that somebody wanted John Gruden out, so what they did was just expose him for who he was.
Yeah.
That's basically what you said, right? So you're saying that we're okay with the people that are in the positions that they are until we don't like them anymore.
We just don't want to know who they are, so that we can concentrate on winning football games.
I mean, kind of like we said, it's a business, right? It's all about performance. The better you perform, the least these distractions, the quieter they become, right?
Sure. No, I'm just asking.
I mean, I don't condone any of those things, right? Like, but for me, at the end of the day, as a sports fan,
let's be honest.
What do you do on the field for me?
And a homophobic bigot is a lot worse than finger popping some girl's butthole at a bar. Okay.
Yeah, for one, I was glad Urban Meyer didn't want to shake hands. I know where that hand's been.
You're right. Listen.
Yeah, probably see where Deshaun Watson's has been.
Like they always say, there's levels to this shit, right? Like I understand.
Yeah.
So
the whole exchange with him shaking hands, I mean, the dude is just like,
I'm just making a joke out of it. I couldn't care
No.
less about any of that.
No, but again, that's another thing that I turn on the news and like they're just blowing it up, man. They're just look at this handshake. Look at the dude has a
you just got shut out. You just lost 20-0. I'm not in a pleasant mood.
He has a garbage team. He lost to the Titans.
Exactly.
He got shut out by the Titans, who don't even have freaking Derrick Henry. Like, I mean, they've only won 2 games. The Bills game, looking back on it, it's kind of like the season we went to the AFC Championship. It's a fluke. Like, that should have never happened, right? So, and the other game that we won was on a different continent. So it's just, I get it. I get the guy. I get it. So and again, coming from someone who is listening to those that are actually on the inside, it's not as bad as it looks. But the on-field play is as bad as it looks.
This is a really fun change of tone that, like, because I've been listening to Todd for the last couple of weeks, and so I've got Todd on one end, and then I've got the Urban Meyer truther here with me today. This is very fun.
Oh, I'm not a truther. I just understand, hey, this is who we've got, so we've got to roll with him, right? Clearly, the owner's going to roll with this guy, and we're only half a season into his first year in the NFL. If he tucks tails and runs to Notre Dame in a couple years, whatever,
I feel like he's doing it on purpose. That's the only thing I'm getting. I feel like I got the Saban vibes out of this, where he's just whatever. I'm just like making people think about my NFL career so that I can finally go back to college, and then everyone will.
Well, see, the problem is his whole the whole incident in the bar. I mean, a lot of college programs aren't going to want to touch him right now because of that. So,
are you sure?
I mean, there are
sure?
some that would. There are some that would, but the big timers right now,
I
don't think
there's so many colleges that won't care.
I even think Notre Dame would call him tomorrow, right?
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Like, religious school, I don't think they would.
By the time he's a college coach next season, let's just hypothetically, let's say he's a college coach next season, it will have been like a whole calendar year since the chick at the bar. And here's the thing: the general public's memory is short. Everyone has a short memory, and no one will care. Yeah. Everyone will forget about it,
or just super.
As long as you win. Yeah, winning cures all. So.
Well, kind of tell us a quick dive of the game and your disappointment.
Oh man,
let's talk about the team instead of
oh my gosh. Well, poor Trevor Lawrence, man. The guy's good. He's talented. The problem is our wide receivers can't catch a ball if you put glue on their hands and just handed them the freaking ball. They couldn't hold on to it. Blocking, I don't know if Harish wants to go out and play left guard for us. I'm sure he could do better than Andrew Noel for us right now.
Sorry, I'm busy covering for Eric Fisher. My bad.
It's a joke. It's unfortunate and really showed yesterday. Although I'll give Tennessee their credit. Their pass rush is a lot more fierce than
we got like a much better pass rush than we've seen in a long time. So we're not terrible. Our secondary sucks, but our pass rush is good.
Yeah, I mean, and the narrative for the Tennessee defense has just been that they're hot garbage, right? But I know the Jacksonville line isn't very good, but I've been paying attention to the Tennessee defense and especially that front line. They're legit.
I love Danico Autry was like the best signing we had for sure. Which I also want to talk about. I want to talk about Zach Cunningham because I haven't watched a lot of tape on him, and I want to know what you guys think of that. But we can get to that when we get to Houston. Anyway, sorry.
No. So yes, our wide receivers can't catch a ball. We do have some injuries, which kind of sucks, and our defense is suspect at that's being nice. So
your defense did a good job of because our offense wasn't that great. Like our screen passes were completely ineffective because you guys were blitzing a lot on those early downs and they were getting pressure on Tannehill. Tannehill was on his butt a lot. There's not a lot. I mean, our offensive line isn't all that great either, but you guys were really effective, if not just as effective or more so than a lot of teams we've played against. The pass protection was not
our defense. Our defense is actually it's decent. The problem is that the offense is 3 and out. And so when you're constantly as a defense, just your offense isn't helping you out. Like I think it's wearing them down physically and mentally. So
trust me, I know. I just went through the last 4 weeks.
So
that's where we're at.
I want to talk about this real quick because I like Twitter wars. I like arguing on Twitter because It's fun, and I get bored sometimes. I want to know, and I've told you guys this last year, kind of like around this time, maybe right after the college football playoff. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is this generational talent that people peg him out to be. I think Trevor Lawrence needs everything to be perfect in order for things to work for him. I saw it at Clemson. I see a lot of it now. What is your evaluation of Trevor Lawrence at this point?
I think he has the talent. I think he's for the most of his life, he's been one of the most talented people on the field, and he's been able to kind of lean on that. And it didn't help, it didn't help that he had, the number one recruiting class every year while he's at Clemson. So he can kind of be a little bit lazy in some areas. And I think that's showing now where, holy crap, you have to play your A game every snap.
Yeah.
And I think that's showing there. I think he's the real deal. I think part of the problem, I think coaching is getting our coaching is horrible. James Robinson ran the ball for I think 2 downs the entire game yesterday.
Yeah, he barely had it.
And if you look at the beginning of the year, Lawrence was a gunslinger at the beginning of the year. And then all of a sudden, nothing. So I think part of it's coaching. I think part of it's we just don't have good enough playmakers around. I think he's the real deal. We'll see. He's not Ryan Lee for sure.
I think people are always so prone to want instant success from people. And we've been spoiled because there have been some quarterbacks that have come along recently that have had sort of that instant success, but then they regress for a little bit. But I think a lot of people, they want to see it like right now. And I think that coaches get fired far too frequently because they want instant results when, it takes years to build a successful team with, like, if you're just one coach, it'll take a long time to build something successful. So I agree with you there. I think it's not fair to evaluate Trevor Lawrence so harshly.
No, I think my question more. I'm not. I know. Listen, I know the Jags are a shit show. Like, we don't need to debate that, right?
There's no.
My question is looking at Trevor as an individual. Like, I feel like there are places in it, and I think you already touched on it, right? He's been lazy because he's had the talent around him. I think there are spots in his game that I expected him to be better at from a fundamental perspective than he's actually shown to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that's I don't by no means do I think he's going to be a bust, because I don't think that's the case. But I feel like for as much as his horn has been tooted, right, there are places, there are places that as fundamentally that he is not very good at that I feel like he should be better at, especially in an age of football where offense is so heavily favored.
You know who this reminds me of? And it's a great segue. He reminds me of David Carr 2.0. Has a lot of potential, but is being hurt by his team.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you get? You're the first overall pick. You're not going to get drafted by a great team. You're not going to get gifted a great landing spot like New England.
I think he's better than David Carr. I think he's still. I think he'll still be the top quarterback. I think he'll still be the best quarterback out of this draft. I think, again, he just needs wide receivers.
David Carr was the best quarterback out of that draft too, but
I think he's gonna. Once the team dynamic changes, once the coaches get their act straight, I think you'll see. I mean, just look. If you look closely, again, this is a Jaguars fan who watches, every game, every snap, right? If you look at the sacks that we took last year and this year, they're significantly down, and it's not because our offensive line. It's because he's making smarter decisions. He's getting the ball out quicker, throwing it away. So he's got the head for it for sure. He just needs to get better people around him.
Also, David Carr was the first overall pick in the history of the fucking franchise. So there's a
not necessarily. The first pick was a trash from Jacksonville named of Tony Pacelli, who
for the Texans.
Yeah, that was the very first pick of the Texans' history. But David Carr he has some good games. He has some good seasons. Just kept getting hit. He had 2 seasons where he broke NFL most sacks in the season. So he got gun shy. And when he went to Carolina. When he went to Carolina, people thought this was going to reinvent his career, and he was going to be top 5 quarterback, and he sucked because he was too scared of getting hit. And Jay,
Yeah, it was too late at that point. Yeah.
I do have one question for Tennessee for Agent Ha over there. What is your perception of your quarterback since Derrick Henry's been out?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, Harish said it like perfectly, and I was going to make this point. It almost feels like this is something that could be said about all the quarterbacks in our division, is that they need everything to be perfect for them to be at their best. Like, say what you will about Carson Wentz, but unless everything's perfect, you don't he can't be the guy to save the game for you, right? It's the same thing with Tannehill. Everything needs to be perfect for him to be at his best, and things are not perfect. So that's why he's not at his best. I think he struggled the start of the season, he was really struggling because he was getting hit quite a bit. And then mid-season, or started around our winning streak, they were protecting a little bit better. So he was less shy about making those risky throws. But now that his weapons are gone, he has made a lot of turnovers out of that. And that's why yesterday was very different, because they were very boring and very bland, because you could tell that in the bye week that Vrabel was all about not turning the ball over. And you can tell that they are terrified of putting the ball on the ground and turning it over. That's why it was such a really, really bland offensive scheme. And so what is my opinion, Tannehill? I think he needs everybody there for him to be stellar.
Also,
He's never
by the way,
been the star of the team.
Yeah. I'm not once have I
We all
ever
know that.
mentioned
Everyone
Carson
knows
Wentz was not once have I ever said Carson Wentz was going to be the star of the game. Let's put that on the record. I actually
Wait, what?
not once have I ever said that Carson Wentz was going to be the star of this team.
Oh no, yeah, Sam Darnold was your guy. I remember that.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold would have been
You're all
great
about
in
Sam
this
Darnold.
offense too.
But I'm just saying, I think that, what you said is that, you said Trevor Lawrence is the kind of guy that needs everything or to be perfect around him for him to be best. I think that could be said about all of our quarterbacks. I think they need everything else to be perfect for them to excel.
There's nothing wrong with that. Right.
And I'm not saying there is, but I'm saying that's what we're facing right now. Yeah. So Tannehill, he's not. I've never called him elite. I know I get a lot of crap because you guys are yelling at me for the stuff you see Titans fans put online.
That's because you.
I trust you guys know by now. I've never been one of those people, but yeah, I know
you are responsible. For
there's a reason why I'm here tonight, because. There's a reason why I'm here, is because the true Titans fans never show up when we lose to the Texans or the Patriots. They're only here when we beat the Bills and the Chiefs and we sweep the Colts. But, when we're losing to the Jets and when we lose to the Texans, Matt's going to message you saying, hey, can you come on because our Titans guy bailed? Yes, because the true Titans fans are the ones that are here when we lose. That's right. Because I'm the fake Titans fan.
John.
Sorry, Donnie. I'm sorry, Donnie. I'm not the true Titans fan. I know you're not even watching, Donnie, because you don't show up when we beat the Jaguars. You don't show up when we lose to the Texans and the Jets. You only show up when we've beaten the Colts and when we've beaten the Chiefs and the Bills to call me a jerk and not a true fan. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
I've
got a bag of Skittles.
Clip that.
Yeah. But,
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of beating the Texans, perfect segue. Justin, we had the Texans had Seattle.
Yep, Seattle.
Bun B was the halftime performance. That's probably the only good thing about the game. So
you guys had some scrap. You had some fight there for a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, man, at least the first half of this game wasn't boring like the last 2 or 3 games. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sleep in the first half of this game. So, this game was horrible, man. Just it's the same shit New Day with the Texans, man. It's just their offense is so bad that it makes the defense seem like they're not one of the top defense in the league. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the Texans defense is actually that bad. I want to say they're third in the league in takeaways. It's the offense is so horrible and so inept, especially when they try to run the ball.
Well, when I was at the Colts game last week, Harish even told me, he said, "Man, your defense is not bad."
It's not.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Honestly, if we
top
can get
10 in DVOA. So I mean, it's there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have a defense. It's that I mean, what happens is it's the same shit that we do every week. It's we can't run the ball, so our quarterbacks who aren't good at really that great throwers right now. I mean, you have Davis Mills and Tyrod Taylor. You force them to throw, and I mean, that's when the turnovers start running down. Dude, we're not even a dimensional offense. Like we really, the offense is so frustrating to watch the Texans offensively, dude. It's sad because they can't run the ball whatsoever. They don't. Honestly, I believe we do have the worst running attack in the league. It's it's the fact that they can't. They have no way of like controlling the clock in games. The same thing happens. They can have a lead, but they have no way of like you know what I'm saying like playing ball control so they can like hold on to it. So everything
Honestly,
comes back against us.
honestly,
Yeah.
I think
Unless
what
I'm at the
happened-
game, then they're stellar.
right? Honestly,
Yeah, exactly.
what I think what happened was at the second half, instead of Frank Reich getting the potato headset, David Coley gets it because he every game in the second half is just they come out flat. And
No, and honestly,
it's terrible.
I think it's. I don't know what it is. I think Estero just whispers down to him, "Hey, man, you got to remember, we're tanking. We're tanking." God, we got
Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett seem to share a brain.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, dude. It's. Oh, dude, Liquor Next was wonderful. My goodness, and Rashard Petty, my good. Actually, the good thing about it,
Yeah, who would have guessed?
I found a few reasons that the Texans can go after this offseason. Rashard Penny, get that kid, dude.
I forgot that guy was still playing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, shoot, he looked better than any of the running backs we have on our roster right now. Dude.
Well, speaking of next year, we just talked about the Jags and Texans being trash. Here's a great question: who gets the higher pick of the two?
Well, who won week 1?
Oh, well, we did.
You guys messed up.
Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie, man. I guarantee you, we're gonna lose that second time. I guarantee it. Jacksonville's gonna beat us the second.
So this Sunday, Jacksonville wins it.
Oh, we play Jacksonville this week?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna lose. I guarantee it.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Good news, Matt. Trevor Lawrence gets another victory.
Bro, the start of the Davis Mills era, dude. Once they officially announced that Davis Mills was going to be the quarterback for the rest of the season, I knew that's when the tank is official. Like you're starting a guy who has 0 wins as a quarterback over a guy that has brought you 2 wins a season as a quarterback.
What positions do you guys need to attack or need to draft the most?
What position? Honestly, sadly, we can't draft it that high in the draft. But the position we need the most is a running back. Yeah. We have no running backs on this team. It's not just the offensive line. And the offensive line is not that bad. It's just it's injured.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
No, it's not that bad. Well, it's because Tunsil's out, Britt's out, and Marcus Cannon's out. That's 3/5 of your offensive line. So
Justin Britt started last week, and no.
But you still don't have your tackles though. You don't have
Howard is playing way better than Tunsil has at left tackle.
Yeah, Tunsil's not going to play anymore. He already got his money.
Yeah, Howard is a stud at left tackle. We need to keep him there and trade Tunsil for a first-round pick.
Honestly, I'd be down for that. I'm not gonna lie. No, honestly, I'd be down for that. We need to just start as much over as possible. Like, get rid of all the bad contracts that Bill O'Brien puts in. But, like, yeah, don't know. I'm not going to lie. You're right, Matt. Like, when you talk about it now, honestly, I'm down to get rid of Tunsil because he probably is the most penalized offensive lineman on the team. He's the most penalized offensive lineman on the team. Well, it's a false start.
Howard is, but yeah.
When Tunsil plays, it's Tunsil.
Matt, you think the Jags stay above the Texans, or you think y'all beat us and
I think we win.
You think
I think we win. Yeah. We're more concerned about winning than getting a high draft pick because we suck at that anyway. So
You're gonna get a high draft pick anyway, so you might as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be as high.
Anyway,
So I
It'll
guess
be
I
the
have a
second
question.
pick and not the first pick.
I guess I have a question. I mean, and obviously this is for Justin, but Matt, feel free to chime in here. I was just looking at the quarterback rankings for this draft class.
I don't want nobody.
Okay.
Well, no. Especially if we okay. Well, here's the thing. We're gonna trade Deshaun Watson in the offseason. We're gonna get another first round pick at least out of that trade. So with the top first round pick we're gonna have in this draft, we should draft the best player available. Now, as later on in that first round, depending on who we trade with, maybe draft a quarterback, but I'm not sure. The only 2 or 3 that I would even remotely even consider drafting this draft is Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, or Carson Strong out of Nevada.
Okay.
Those are
the three. Those are the 3 on my list.
I'm with you, Matt. I'm not that crazy about him either. If there is a more solid playmaker at the running back position, or at the cornerback position, or at the wide receiver position, because we need another wide receiver, I'd go after them first and just wait for next year.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So if we're going to get another first round pick for Watson. I don't know where it's at, but you need, if they're there, you need to get Neal and Green to help the offensive line. Those 2 guys are stud offensive linemen. I think they're going to make an impact. You do not draft a quarterback until the second round, and hopefully it's not an early draft pick. Hopefully it's like a mid-second round. None of these guys are going to be starters in the NFL.
I think you guys should wait a year.
Exactly. I agree.
You don't think there's a single 2 star in the NFL in this draft?
No, and I'll tell you another reason why.
I think Kenny Pickett could be one.
I'll tell you another reason why. Who's going to be our offensive coordinator next year? If it's Tim Kelly, the guy is doomed already. So you got to see who your head coach is. If it's Coley, no, do not draft a quarterback. Do not. If you I tell you who I want.
They're not going to fire Coley yet. The Texas organization knows that they screwed down.
So the only reason why they brought Coley. The only reason why they brought Coley in is for what reason? Deshaun Watson. That's the only reason. Only reason. Because he had ties to Deshaun Watson. That's the only reason why we kept Tim Kelly. Because he had ties to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's gone. Both of them need to be gone.
Oh, wow. You're done with Coley in 1 year?
You think the second day trade Watson, that's it for Coley, Or you think this is it for all the you think this last season for Coley?
Coley was not a Nick Caserio guy. He did not. He wanted Brady over Coley.
Oh yeah. Oh no. That is definitely for sure. I know that the report came out that Joe Brady was the first choice.
Caserio's going to get his head coach, and I hope it is Clint Kubiak from Minnesota
as head coach.
Wow. Last time the Texans had a great running game was under who? Gary Kubiak.
You want to bring Gary Kubiak back?
No, I want to bring his son back.
Clint Kubiak.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No Joe Brady.
Do not get a quarterback until you got your coaches established.
And then you're gonna get Arian Foster's son in too, right?
Yeah. Torian Foster.
Sure.
That's right.
Totally made that name up. Justin's like, hold on, who's this guy?
We have a better chance of getting one of. Do what?
You would think Bieniemy would be a good coach, Eric Bieniemy?
No, he's a product of Patrick Mahomes. I do not want him.
Really? Is that why nobody has hired Eric Bieniemy?
3 years.
2 consecutive years being a top head coach candidate is just
3 years.
I mean, he's been a good coach, like in the league for a while too, man. Just
under who though?
Very true.
Andrew Reid, exactly. Of course, he's going to be a good coach.
One of the best coaches out there,
right?
Andy Reid has a pretty good coaching tree, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's what he's an Andrew Reid guy. Like
Okay, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Matt Nagy, first
Trash.
year OC, he gets picked up by Chicago.
Trash.
The I can't think of his name, but the Philadelphia
Doug
head
Doug
coach.
Marone.
Not
Doug
Doug Marone.
No, not
No.
Doug.
Oh, next to
Doug Peterson.
Peterson.
It's
Yes.
Doug. It's Doug, right? Okay, yeah.
Peterson. First year as an OC, he goes to Philadelphia.
Hey, he went to
He
Super
won a
Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I know. See, he's so terrible. He won a Super Bowl.
Oh, Benenemy has been there 3 years. He has been picked up by nobody, and he has how many interviews? We interviewed him last year, and what happened?
They always said no.
I don't want him.
Maybe some people just can't interview.
Chris Royal said he wants Josh McDaniels. That's another guy I don't want.
Hell no.
No,
Hell
Josh McDaniels
no.
ain't gonna go
Listen.
anywhere.
none with Patriot guys.
Yeah. Josh
That ship
McDaniels.
is sailed. Josh McDaniels had his chance to leave, and he said no. He has completely ruined that.
Josh McDaniels is lying the rest of his career, banking on getting the New England job. If he doesn't get it, he's done. He's burned every bridge in the NFL there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Multiple times.
Wait,
Before
Maurice,
we-
would Josh McDaniels keep feeding the ball to Jonathan Taylor? Byron
Yes.
Leftwich, is that what you suggested?
Yeah, I think Byron Leftwich could be another good coach.
He's not doing anything with
He's been
Brissett
good.
because he doesn't have Brissett.
he was talking about when Brissett was there. I don't think it was Josh McDaniels. I really think it was Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Brissett wasn't very.
I did
good
wanna-
under him anyway.
I did want to ask you guys before we got thinking about Cunningham. What
Trash.
What should I expect out of this guy? What was going on with it? Like, was he just sort of like one of those
What?
guys they got
Yeah.
rid of because he was part of the old guard, or was it
you ready for it? Trash.
no good? huh?
What's his? I thought he like led them in tackles.
He would not play up to the money we were paying him.
Oh,
We're paying him too much money for not having that
Okay,
good production.
So
Hey, he fits right in with overplayed players over here.
So when he played in Bill O'Brien's defensive scheme, which is what Vrabel runs, he did have a lot of tackles, but can't cover for shit. And what does a linebacker do in a 3-4 defense? Cover. He is going to get burnt. He
Yep.
came into a zone 4-3 defense, which a linebacker is supposed to do what? Tackle. He hasn't done shit. He's trash linebacker. Overpaid trash linebacker.
Yep.
Gruger
Yeah.
Hill, who we picked up for $650,000, has
It's killing it. Killing it, bro. Killing it out there, bro. That's a fucking miss when he blitzes.
I remember a couple of years ago when you guys loved Zach Cunningham. Jesus,
I did not. I wasn't a fan. I know.
If he's
and
playing
a lot
well,
of-
why not love him?
I was like, Nick, this motherfucker.
he wasn't
go.
playing well though. He got a lot of high tackles, but
Okay,
he sucks in coverage.
Well, there was one year Zach Cunningham did lead the team in tackles, and that's what he got paid off.
He led the NFL with tackles last year.
Yeah, he had like 150 tackles.
I don't think he led the
Something
NFL, but he led the Texans.
No, he led the NFL.
No, he was one lead. He led the NFL.
Okay,
He led the
164
NFL.
tackles.
Okay, so
I wanna say he led the NFL.
Okay, so when opposing teams are on the field 98% of the time because your offense sucks, of course he's gonna get a lot of tackles.
Wait, so
Oh, of course, yeah,
on.
that's the offense dog shit. That's not a question.
bro, this dude had like 18 tackles in a game.
And Kruger Hill had 24.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, shit, Zach Cunningham.
That
Trash.
sounds like a good day for both people.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a linebacking core.
Okay. So he is a good tackler. What would you rather pay? $12 million or $650,000?
Well, I'm pretty
Well,
sure
my
from
team
what I
is
understand,
trash.
his guaranteed money is gone after this year. So because you guys paid everything up front, that's why the Titans to pick him up on the waiver. I know this because the Jaguars should have picked him up. They like the guy's cheap after this year. You can just let him go, and there's no money owed left to him. So
Yeah.
there must have been something in Houston, something about tanking. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is that like because it seemed as though because he was part of like the old old group
There's a
of
Bill
draft
O'Brien
picks and whatnot. Yeah, it's like there seems to have been like a real sort of like, you know how like when a president comes into office and the first thing they do is get rid of anything that has the previous president's name on it. Like that seems like that's what's going on a lot in Houston too. It's like anything that has Bill O'Brien's name on it, get rid of it.
Well, and of course,
down
the
with
contract.
that.
The contracts are got like you could say whatever you want about Casario, but Casario has flipped the cap space tremendously.
Oh, that's big in your first.
Dude.
Your
I
first
want to say,
year.
don't we have, I think Jackson have like released. Don't we have like $55 million in cap space heading into this all season?
Yeah.
And that's before we traded, even before we traded Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So Chris said you guys run a Tampa 2. Man, if you guys got Aiden Hutchinson in a Tampa 2, I would shit my pants.
Right. And a Tampa 2 defense with a 4-3 at a linebacker is supposed to tackle. He was not good at tackling.
Yeah.
Vrabel runs the 3-4 defense and he can't cover. That's the biggest issue with Cunningham under Bill O'Brien's and Vrabel's defense when Vrabel was here. Couldn't cover. So
I want to jump off topic if we're done with that because I just had a quick question because I'm buying into the hype and I have a guy in my mind that I want to talk about. But name one player that's in the draft. It doesn't matter what round that you're excited about.
Kenneth Walker.
Who?
Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State.
Okay.
Honestly, I think we can get him in the second round. And I'm going to tell you right now, that guy could absolutely transform our running game. He's literally the perfect prototypical running back. He's about 6 foot, 215.
Yeah.
Tough runner. Really, can run around you, can run through you. I like that.
Okay.
That's the everyday back we need right now.
All right. Matt?
The running back, I think his name is Breece Hall from Iowa State. That dude's the most underrated running back in the nation right now.
He's good too. He's very that's next.
All right. Let's see. Other Matt?
See, look, Breece Hall. Boom! Told you. Breece Hall in the second round. I totally agree. Sorry, Matt.
What's the question? Who am I excited
Just
about?
one player you're super excited about. You hope your team gets.
Oh man, any wide receiver out of Alabama.
Fair enough.
Honestly, although we're picking so high.
Yeah.
From what I understand, that Oregon,
we should pick him.
Who?
The edge rusher out of Oregon, I think, is probably going to be if we're 1, 2, or 3. If the Oregon player is available,
yeah, Kavion. Yeah,
you can't have enough. You can't have enough rushers, right?
You really can't. So, I would love, and this would be my wet dream, is to have David Bell, wide receiver from Purdue.
No,
Ooh.
no, because I want him.
That would be my dream.
Sorry, Harish. Matt called dibs.
Yeah.
Yep.
My dream offseason would be signing Devontae Adams and drafting David Bell.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That'd be my dream. It's not going to happen because the Packers are. Can we get rid of the stupid franchise tag rule because it's such a dumb rule. I hate it so bad. Can we just get rid of it? That would be my bet. That would be my dream offseason scenario.
My guys I want is I want Hudson, of course. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But either Stingley or Hamilton, those two guys I think are going to change any team's backfield. He kind of reminds me of Jalen Ramsey before being prima donna. So,
oh, nice.
I would go Stingley, honestly, because I don't think the Texans have solid safety. This corner position is kind of iffy.
Well, Justin Reed's gone next year, so you got to get somebody.
I was also curious because overall this isn't a very good draft class.
It is or isn't?
It's not.
Different positions. This is a very high edge rush draft. You're going to get a lot of decent edge rushers in this draft.
Yeah. I mean, Thibodeau and
linemen. This is a draft for linemen too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there are some options out here. Oh yeah. There's some decent edge linemen.
But when it comes to like big positions like running back, receiver,
Skill
quarterback,
positions.
it's very
Yeah.
slim. Very, very
It
slim.
is slim, and we kind of need some of those skill positions. So as a guy who
And see, that's another guy, Zay Flowers from Boston College. He is pretty.
I've
Oh,
actually
dude. Oh, man.
He is a great slot receiver.
really.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
another
he's
guy
pretty
somebody
good.
brought up the other day.
Williams out of Alabama is supposed to be
never
pretty
mind.
good.
Jameson Williams.
And
He's a big
yeah.
guy though. He's like,
And he'd
6'10".
fit the Jaguars because the Jaguars need a true number one and someone who's fast. And he's got a lot of speed and potential to be number one.
And very
Because
big.
we
too.
have a punt returner as our number one wide receiver. So
Agnew.
Well, there's the other guy out of Georgia who's really good, the wide receiver.
Oh, George Pickens.
Yep, Pickens. He got hurt, but he just came back, dude. My God.
I mean, yeah, to me, I think it's a solid wide receiver draft too. Like the only positions I think are weak, of course, is number one quarterback and probably linebackers aren't really that great.
Running backs. There's only like maybe 3 or 4 that's actually going to do anything.
Yeah, running backs too. Running backs is pretty weak. I mean,
Um,
that's why I hope the Texans attack that position early. I don't think he's that first second rounder for that running back too, because they have no way in that fucking backfield, bro.
well, guys, it's been fun. Before we head out, I would like to announce some exciting news. The Fan Battle Sports Network has picked up our very first sponsor. We are now sponsored by Prize Picks. It's a great way to earn money through sports. You can pick the up and under of any football, basketball, baseball's not in right now, but it's a great way to get some money. Right now, if you enter the promo code FBSN, they match your offer. So if you put in $50, they'll give you 50 free bucks. So sign up. Hurries has been on it. He says he loves it. He even wants some money out of it. So
$10.
Hey,
Nice.
$10 is better than nothing, right?
Yeah, I just did it yesterday for giggles, and
That's lunch.
I won $10.
Yeah. He said a smooth layout, easy to use. So guys, check it out. Again, the promo code is FBSN. Also, like we've been saying the last couple of weeks, we are starting off our new network. So if you know anybody that has a podcast that needs help, contact me, Haris, any of you guys on here, Samantha. And if you want to start one and just don't know what to do, let us know. With that being said, Haris, where can we find you?
The Uncle Gandhi, GHANDI, everywhere.
All right. Matt, where can we find you at, bud?
you can find me on Twitter at Matthew G Sports.
Okay. And of course, Justin and Agent Hall, no Twitter yet, right?
No, unfortunately. But I do have Facebook and Instagram. Justin JPZ on Instagram. Justin Rob Palmer on Facebook. And also Porch Talk Sports YouTube page. You can also check that out too.
You could find me here every time the Titans lose. But if they win, sorry, you won't see me.
Nice.
Well, you can find me at Cancel Tim Kelly on Twitter. And you can find the podcast at AFCSFB. Make sure you check out our other podcast, the Lawn Chair Sports Podcast, the Texans Fan Battle, and You Don't Know Jack, the Colts podcast. So with that being said, guys, I have a wonderful night. Hopefully the Jags beat the Texans next week, and we'll see you then.
Dang it, Alvin.